Hey, everybody. I have a special treat today. I have talked to you guys for years about this group of psychics that meet every Thursday. And some of them, like Diane and Patricia, have been with me since the beginning, like since 2020. So 6 years of astrology and psychic development classes. And of course, Helen and Daphne, who both have YouTube channels, they've been doing it with me for about at least a year, right? Maybe a little longer. I don't know. Maybe a
Going
year,
on
two
two
years.
now. Yeah,
Going on
yeah.
two for you. Daphne, maybe a year,
Just
right?
since September.
Okay, since September.
Just
Okay,
feels
so
like a year.
well, okay, so 6 months. But I've been trying to get these guys to kind of come with me onto YouTube because they're really great psychics and astrologers. Diane and Patricia are fantastic. I've seen them like just they're just really, really great. They're two of the people that I was talking about when we did the meditation about what was coming. They saw the same thing I did, which was the missile attack in the East Coast. Um, so they can speak to their own things. I will put their information, so how to get a hold of them if you want a reading from them, in the description on the more button in on YouTube, or I will put it on my Substack as well. It's both, it'll be posted both places. But today we're just going to we're just going to go through a bunch of different things that are on top of mind for a lot of people, and we're going to throw cards. We're going to look at astrology. Um, Helen and Daphne are not astrologers, but they use cards, and we all use cards that you guys, they were in I think you guys were in the tarot class I taught as well, probably a long time ago, right? 6 years ago or something. That was the first psychic class that I taught, was the tarot. So I don't know, were you guys in that? Diana and Patricia? Or Diana and Patricia? Yeah, you guys were, right? That was a long time. Diane, that's right, because she's a Virgo. She did like she made this whole book out of it. It was pretty impressive. I don't know how she did that. So yeah, so she was there. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and just throw cards, talk, kind of give you guys our impressions. And so what kind of topic do you guys want to start with? Diane, do you want to throw something out, or Patricia?
I would like to know if Netanyahu is alive.
Okay.
Is he alive? Is he not alive? Is he injured? He's being sequestered?
Yes. Yes. Okay. Well, we can look at a chart because I can tell you, like, around the time he disappeared, supposedly his thing was hit. You guys can throw cards. I will show the chart of Netanyahu on that day, because that is an interesting question. And if you look at the aspects, I think it was the 12th, right? When that happened. Am I wrong about that? Anybody know the date? I think it was the 12th when his residence, he stopped being seen after that. That was like the night of the 12th or something like that. Maybe it was the 13th, like at midnight. What? Anybody know?
I'm looking
I
it
think
up.
it was okay. I think it was right around here. Yeah. Like midnight, or probably the night of the 13th. I think he was last seen in public the 12th. Hmm.
Over here says that he was last seen on public on March 15th,
On March
2026.
15th. It was the
Yeah.
15th? Okay, so let's look at the 15th then. Okay. All right. So not as bad, but he has a Jupiter opposition to the sun. Okay, so on the 12th, there was some aspects there where there's a lot of Uranian stuff. He does have a Mars square Uranus here by progression, which implies some kind of trauma thing or something happened. Um, I think he's probably alive but hiding. Is I think maybe something did happen to his residence. He's got Neptune squaring his uh squaring his Uranus. It's finding his moon. Something probably did happen, but I'm not sure if it killed him or not, although some of these aspects are kind of like not great, but maybe not enough to kill him. But he's got that Neptune Mars opposition here, which, and Saturn around that time. So maybe he could have been injured, possibly. This is a house of endings, right? So Jupiter is also opposing his sun there that day. So that's another house of endings, being in the 8th house. So there's some bad aspects, and certainly he would have been scared. He's got a Uranus in conjunction there too. Some kind of traumatic event happened, and I think if nothing else, it scared him. But we can throw cards on it too. So go ahead and figure that out. I'll take this off the chart. You guys can. Anybody want to go first? Yeah, go ahead, Helen. Yep.
Okay, so we get the conflict, the Five of Wands. I believe he's working behind the scenes. His work's not done. He's collaborating, consulting. He's still leading. I don't think he's dead. I think he's still there. But what I think happened, the aggression of this whole thing, he was consumed by, the macho aspect of it. And I think he had the liver scared out of him. I think he's having second thoughts emotionally, like he was shook. And I do think that he's in a bunker someplace cowering.
Yeah.
And just for a little icing on the cake, this was at the bottom of my deck, the devil.
Oh, that's funny.
So I think, yes, he's still alive. Maybe not as confident as he was to begin with. He's having not second thoughts, but reservations. And he's decided to take himself someplace just a little more security,
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Daphne, go ahead.
Yeah, I immediately got a sense of restriction and him like fighting against the people who were telling him he couldn't leave. And it was performative, like a bunker situation where he has to act like he wants to get out there and, handle a gun himself. So I got him as the King of Pentacles, still on the throne, but the Queen of Wands in reverse. So there's definitely been some injury, some threat to his leadership. And then Magician in reverse. So either he's being manipulated, people are trying to rein him in, or he has lost considerable power. And then when I said, okay, well, but is he alive? Temperance, yes, he's still alive. But bottom of the deck, Three of Swords.
Three of Swords.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. How about you, Patricia or Diane? Patricia, you want to go, and then Diane? Or Diane, you go.
Okay.
Okay.
No,
No, go ahead, Patricia.
Okay.
You go.
I got the 8 of Wands, okay? Those missiles, they came fast and he did not expect that. That was a burden. He's like, he did not see this coming. He's trying to find out what happened, how this could happen. He's hiding. He's trying to find the intelligence, but I do feel that he's not okay. Something happened, because the dome is not really full on working. So how this could happen, right? And this is a karmic thing. The whole situation is he's coming into a cycle end or something. So he's not doing great.
Yeah, that makes sense. What do you get, Diane?
I got the Seven of Wands. So he's very bravado. It's his way or the
Uh-oh. She froze.
Frozen
Yes.
in fear.
She's frozen. Okay, well, we'll come back to
do
Diane.
it his way,
Oh,
regardless
okay.
of what his. Oh, I'm sorry. Is it coming out?
Yeah, you're
Is
good
it
now. You're good now.
You're
Okay,
good
I'm
now.
good now. All right. So I got the Seven of Wands, indicating that he's going to do it his way, regardless of what anyone else is advising him to do. But he is on the down low. I'm not getting the impression that he's gone or dead, but he is in hiding in a bunker. He's watching over his shoulder. He recognizes that there are real threats against him and that his life is potentially in danger. But the King of Wands, he is calling the shots. He is still viable, alive, and the magician behind the screen. So he's not going anywhere.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I got similar things. So I always do, like, when I do a yes, no spread, and it's like, when it said maybe he's dead. So to me, that means he probably is injured, right? I don't think he's dead, because, like you said, I also got the 8 of Wands reversed. So this is bad news, incoming missile type of situation. The Page of Wands, maybe being disempowered to some degree, having to start over again. The 10 of Pentacles reversed, a lot of loss of property, maybe damage to the property, financial loss as a result. And then this is at the center, which is the Hermit. So that's very much being sequestered and, being in hiding. The Knight of Wands, straight up, a lot of thinking, a lot of anxiety, realizing that he is in a seriously volatile situation, and he's in danger, and Strength reversed. So not feeling like he's safe. So I think he's in a bunker somewhere, calling the shots and trying to recalibrate.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure. Yeah.
You got that he was injured. Do you think it's possible the injury is like a psychic injury, injury to his ego, and an injury to his position or power?
Yes, and I think it's also an injury to the property, because there's looked like financial damage and him feeling vulnerable. So I don't know if he was physically injured, but it could be that he's psychically injured. He's feeling weak and feeling vulnerable. Yeah, for sure. He might have been injured though physically too. I think he might have had some kind of injury, or maybe minor, like you said, or just a psychic injury, like scared that he was going to get killed if he stayed there much longer. Yeah. But I think that's kind of answers the question. We all kind of got the same thing. It looks like there's Kitty. Kitty tail.
But from what I heard, Israel is not allowing any aerial drones or any aerial photography. So there's been an extensive amount of damage.
That's correct.
To the American bases, damage to potentially planes or boats, and damage to other parts of Israel that just are not being reported on.
That's
it's not allowed even to people to film anything. If you report anything, you get 5 years in jail. So
that's right. Yeah, they're hiding how bad it is. The Iron Dome is basically collapsed, and they're calling it the Paper Dome now, I've heard. So
well, that was the original idea from the Iranian. If you could do nothing, at least destroy the dome.
Right. Well, they've also upgraded their missiles, I think, too. They have much more sophisticated missiles that shoot off multiple different sort of fake out kind of situations, so that the Iron Dome kind of goes after these decoys, and then the real bomb gets through. So they've gotten new technology, and they probably were saving that for this. They knew this was coming. So they're decimating Israel for sure.
This is my least favorite aspect of humanity. We invest so much intellectual capital, humankind efforts and hours, and
killing each other.
Killing each other. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Now we throw our young people at it because, sacrifice, blood sacrifice.
True. All right. So what's the next thing we want to tackle here? I personally am very worried that as Israel's getting pounded and Netanyahu feels like there's no escape from the war, that he's going to have nuke Iran, because that is their secret back pocket weapon, and they're really on their back heels, I think. I don't know when this would happen, but I had a vision of it several years ago, and I'm worried that he will do something like that. He's psycho enough, I think, to do something like that. So we can look at that or not. I have no idea what timing would be for that. I don't know, but I'm very worried about that, and that being another major escalation. I'm not alone now. A lot of people are saying that, from what I've heard. A lot of other people have come to that conclusion now. So we can look into that.
It's like a race who's going to use it first, either Putin or
that's right.
Trump,
right?
Yeah,
that's
right.
Or
Trump. I mean, he's very curious. Yeah.
Yes, he's
curious, nuke adjacent.
Nuclear curious. Yeah. Okay.
So the question is, will Israel send a nuclear bomb to Iran?
Yeah, will they use a nuclear weapon? Well, yeah. Well,
can you even believe we're in a situation where we have to ask that?
I know. It's terrifying. Really, truly is. I mean, it seems stupid because you're in that region and it's not going to be good for the region at all.
And P.S. We all breathe the same air.
I know exactly. It's not good for anybody, but
Yeah, and I mean, the planet rotates in such a way that they're immediately going to be under their own fallout.
yeah, right,
You know?
right. I know. It makes no sense, but
No.
none of this makes any sense. So anything is on the table, I think. Wait. Well, that's better than you guess. Okay. Okay, who wants to go first? Anybody?
I can.
Okay, go ahead.
I will. So I think they're thinking about it. I think they're giving it some serious thought. I see the outcome as being very painful. So that's not a good indication. Suffering for a lot of people, Five of Cups. Then I get the Sun, which ordinarily I love this card, but a secondary meaning of it is toxic masculinity. And that Sun makes me nervous. Do you know what I mean? And ultimately, I get the Ace of Cups reverse. This like a heartbreaking situation, devoid of empathy, devoid of a consideration for the human toll.
That's bad.
Yeah, I don't know, but I just feel like they're certainly giving it serious thought.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
So
Yeah, go ahead, Daphne. Okay. Okay, yeah, go ahead, Diane. Yeah, go ahead, Diane. You go first.
That this starts off, this is an immature thought that they're thinking of. They're seriously considering it. The Fool is next to it. They're simply making they want to go forward with it. But someone is telling them about the ramifications of how it will affect the world, not just Iran, but the rest of the world. Like Daphne was saying, the fallout that will affect everyone else. And the amount of death. Because once one country is attacked, it will begin, there'll just simply be more death, and that the heroic method through this to be the hero and not to go forward with it. I don't see them. They're contemplating it. They're immature in their thoughts. I mean, we have Pete Hegseth. We have individuals. I don't know who in Israel are making the decisions. But
probably Jared Kushner.
They're not very mature decisions. There's a wiliness to this, to how they're going about doing it. They're really not thinking through the consequences. But there is someone out there that is talking about, what the ramifications are. Someone is bringing light to the amount of death that's going to take place as a result. But I simply don't see them doing it.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to do it right now either, looking at it. But they are contemplating it. I agree with that. Okay. Yeah, go ahead, Daphne.
Here's Netanyahu again, the King of Pentacles, and he is looking for anyone who's going to agree with him and give him performance, like a cover and agree with his decision making. But there are people working behind the scenes to make sure this never happens. And when I finally said, but will he do it? Will they use a nuclear bomb? Then I got this page of swords in reverse. And so that tells me that ultimately, I think it's going to be we're going to come close. But when I said, okay, what's on the bottom of the deck? Five of Cups in reverse, which tells me that we will be on the precipice, we'll be on the brink, and it won't happen. And I think there's a collection of forces that will contain this and compress the decision-making into a small group. And then people close to that ring of power will somehow see that this is an impossible situation. So this leaves me hopeful, but scared by how close we're going to come.
Really close.
But
All
I also
three of
think
us
that
got
card,
the 5 of Cups.
yeah, I know that 5 of Cups, so reverse can be total loss, though. I mean, so
Yeah.
that's kind of scary. Okay,
Yeah. When I pulled this, I felt like this was the thwarting of his desires, his planning and scheming. So I feel like this is thwarting that, because if I got upright like several of you did, then I would be more concerned. But this tells me that it's going to be a close call, but it likely won't happen.
I personally think that, when I heard Netanyahu might have been dead, I was like, well, if he is dead, then so is the nuclear option, I feel like.
Yeah.
And so maybe, I don't know, maybe that would die with him, because I feel like he's the one that I'm most afraid would do it. Okay, what do you, Patricia, what did you get?
Yeah, the first that jump out of me, there was the Hangman. Okay, so there's a uncertainty. Okay, then I got swords. Of sorts, so they're thinking about it. This is something that is on the table. Okay, they have the 2 of Wands. Okay, options. What do we have on the table? If that happened, it will be a plethora of problems, because it will be World War III like you never see before. So you got the Empress, it's like fertility of problems, right? They also put it on the table the repercussions of that justice, what it will come after that. You have to think of that. So you have the 4 of Swords, and there is hope that this is not going to happen. There is the Stars. So they're putting things on the table, but the fact that it's on the table is already a problem, right? And they're giving a really deep thought about it. So,
but so you think the same thing. And I got that same thing, which is I used the yes, no spread, and I got a maybe.
Well, that's helpful.
But that's basically what everyone's saying, is it's a maybe.
I know.
The problem is a maybe is because of the kind of people that you have over there. It's trigger happy. So because they don't have intellectual capacity to think beyond that. And that is the problem. We don't think in the consequences very heavily. And we're seeing use that is for generations. Look what happened in Japan.
You're right. You're right.
So it's not a one moment thing.
Right.
What's shocking for everybody to think about, it's toxic masculinity. I know that's a surprise, but
Well, the first 3 cards I got were the Page of Swords reversed. So that's unclear thinking, immature, kind of what you were saying, Diane. The Death card, which you got as well, which is interesting. So the thing that came to my head when I saw this was that quote by Oppenheimer, I am death now, or whatever, right?
So I become the destroyer of worlds.
I become the destroyer of worlds, from the big the Bhagavad Gita, blah, 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 whatever. Baba, say it. I can't. My brain.
India, from India.
The Bhagavad Gita. The Bhagavad Gita. Okay.
You never say it.
That's Mercury retrograde. I'm kind of. It's Mercury and Pisces retrograde on my Mercury, so I'm a little more scrambled than usual. Okay, so anyway, death. I am death. Okay, so then, this is our way to success. This is our way. This is actually will make us win the war. That's how they're thinking right now. But as you said, at the center, no, this is kind of, I think of this as walking away and feeling like this is really, we got to back out of this. This is not a good idea. So there is someone advocating for the opposite position in the center. And so this is trying to get into a better position. This is betrayal, and this is a partnership. So someone they're in partnership with does not want this, I think. Maybe it's the other countries that are backing Israel. Maybe it's the people around that are like, you know what, if you do this, you're going to fuck up the whole Middle East and we're not going to be able to live here anymore. So what's the point of doing this? You're going to basically lay waste to the land that you want to take over. What's the point of that? And so there is somebody in the room who's got a brain who is trying to push back against this. And there is a counter argument, but like you said, it's very close. It looks like it's very close.
Well, all of us have lived in the shadow of nuclear war since Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Our whole life.
You're
Yeah,
reading my
yeah.
mind. Oh my God. I was remembering when I was about 6 years old and the Cuban Missile Crisis. And I can remember the adults sitting around the table discussing the potential for a nuclear attack from Russia on the United States. I remember that, like
Yeah.
that atavistic fear, you know,
Yeah.
just, yeah, palpable. Yeah.
And I just find it so curious that a handful of men in this world are directing all of this.
Yeah. Yep. And they're
Yeah.
all psychopaths. Don't forget that
Yes.
part. It's
Yes,
important to remember.
it is.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of think, I wonder about Russia because Russia also has nuclear weapons, is fighting this war in Ukraine. I know they have ambitions to sort of take over Eastern Europe again and reclaim it. They have withheld, and I had the feeling they also were thinking about it very seriously. So far, they have withheld using nuclear option. Um, you know, so it's the interesting triangulation here is Trump, Netanyahu, and Putin. They are in this weird sort of triangle, and I kind of wonder if Putin is like, no, because I think he has, I hope, decided that nuclear weapons would just ruin the situation, would make it worse instead of get what he wants. And maybe he's could talk Trump into not into that kind of way of thinking, and then thereby help Netanyahu to kind of come to that conclusion. I don't know, but it's a weird triangulation because how they're all kind of the same personality type. They're all malignant narcissists, and they're all kind of Netanyahu is sort of pitted against Putin, but yet he's buddies with Trump, and Trump is buddies with both of them. It's a very weird situation. It's very bizarre.
Well, Putin's in a kind of a little bit of the pressure's off him now because now
That's
he's
right,
got
because
more
of the
oil
sanctions.
sales.
I was just going to
Yeah.
say that.
And
And so he
oligarchs.
doesn't have to
Yeah.
do that. And that is
That's right.
actually in a way, I think that's when I felt the release of like, okay, we don't have to do the nuclear option now. I felt like, well, once that happened, it was really bad in a lot of ways, but it's also kind of good in some ways because I don't think he's going to use the nuclear option anymore because he doesn't have to. Now he has the money to
He has
put into
resources,
the military and he has
Yeah.
resources. So he's not going to be backed into a corner. The problem here is that Israel is being backed into a corner and they may not have any other option. And that's what I'm worried about. And even we can't really figure it out. It's like, I don't think it's been decided to either way, but they certainly are considering it. I don't think it's far enough along in the situation for that to be decided either, because I feel like as things get worse, that could become more possible.
And there's a factor we haven't even talked about, which is the white Christian nationalists in the Pentagon who are just itching for Armageddon.
Yes, they are. That's true. But they are pushing, they could push Trump towards something insane like that. And that's worrisome too. I mean, what if we did it? Would we do it if we felt like to defend Israel? I mean, I don't know. We could ask that question. Would the US use nuclear weapons in any okay, let's ask that question. Okay.
What are they holding over Trump's head? To force them, yeah.
Would the US use nuclear weapons on who?
And anybody in the next few years. I don't know because Trump is so erratic. Let's just
Chicago.
Will Trump ever use nuclear weapons while he's in power? Because that's
a good question.
That's a good question.
Keep hearing the phrase murder suicide over and over.
Yeah, well, that's what that would be. Yeah. Oh, Jesus.
Oh,
for fuck's sake. Oh, no. Oh, fucker. Oh, my God.
Stop it.
Holy shit. Oh, okay. Who wants to go first? Do you want me to go first? Because mine is like an absolute 100% yes. That's why I said motherfucker. Because
YouTube's gonna
I'm
love
using the
that.
yes no I'm using the yes no spread. Every single card is turned upright, which is how you count the cards in the yes no spread. Every single card is turned right side up. There is no card turned upside down, which is a no. There's no ambiguity whatsoever. And they're really insane cards too. It's insane. Like you said, murder, suicide. He's like the dude who straps the weapon to the back and goes into the McDonald's because he's dying of cancer and just kills everybody. To me, this is really scary. Like, and you know what? This is the card of Trump. This is a Gemini man card. And look at how the gleefulness. He's got all the toys. He's got all the toys. He feels like,
Did you
there's
get, is
no,
that the Six of Pentacles? I can't see
yes, the
what you
Six
drew.
of Pentacles in the center. Like, it's a bizarre card. It's like, okay, you've got the Six of Wands, Ace of Pentacles, the High Priestess. So there's a secret longing of I think, of destruction and feeling like he's going to acquire everything he can. And when he's ready to go, if he's in power, he's going to blow it right up. I'm kind of shocked, honestly, by how yes it is. I was not expecting it to be every single card turned right side up as a yes. It's all about money. Of course, it's all about money, and it's all about besting everyone else. And it's gleeful. It's like he is happy to do it. He's excited this is like really disturbing.
Well, listen,
That's what I got.
He wanted to shoot a hurricane with a nuclear bomb.
That's right.
That would avert the storm from hitting.
That's right. That's right. But that is a terrifying thought, like that he would, he
Yeah,
really, he's into it.
5
You go for it,
yeses.
Patricia. You did?
I
You
got
got
5
5 yeses.
yeses. Yeah. But the first one that he jumped, it was the Page of
6.
Swords. That's him, an
Yeah,
immature Gemini. But I got the
right.
Fool. He had all the tools
Again.
in the box too. Temperance, because this is gonna bring him, balance, and it's gonna help him, to achieve success. Everything. He's gonna make a lot of money. Okay,
That's
somehow. I
right.
don't know. This is
That's a lot of money stuff. Yeah.
yes. And the Hangman again, and there is the High Priestess. There is a lot of information that we don't know.
High Priestess.
Okay.
That's right. I got the same
Yeah.
card, the High Priestess.
Yes.
Something secret going on
Yes.
that we're
There is,
unaware of.
yeah. There is more cooking in there.
Yeah. Wow. That is creepy. Okay. That's scary. Diane, go ahead.
On the other note, what I did a 5-card spread. The middle of the deck, the middle of these 5 cards is the Queen of Cups. So
Okay.
I think someone is going to be sensible enough to talk them out of it. I'm at the bottom. The bottom 2 cards are the Chariot and the 5 of Swords. So he definitely wants to bully his way in there. He wants to do it. There is absolutely no doubt in my mind. But someone, somewhere, maybe this is the generals, maybe someone is speaking to them and coming from a more compassionate, empathetic perspective.
Let's hope that person has power to dissuade him.
Well,
you got the
here's
same card I did, which is the Six of Pentacles.
I think he's getting a payoff.
And the same other card too.
I think there's a quid pro quo that's going on, or this is
there is something going on
that's going on.
Yes.
But there's going to be pushback.
And this one too, getting into a better position.
Getting into a better position, but also
some
other countries could be pushing back. Remember, we have our allies over there. They do not want the United States to start sending nuclear bombs into the Middle East. It's not.
I don't know though. Do they? Maybe Saudi Arabia wants it. There's a lot of talk that Saudi Arabia is paying basically Kushner to use our military to destroy the regime. Work. Maybe they are secretly pushing Trump to use a nuclear weapon.
You're getting the behind the scenes.
I got the High Priest. I got almost the same exact cards. I got this one, this one, this one,
right?
This one, this one, the gleeful, happy Trump, and this one, it's money, money, money. It's
Yes,
some kind of secret
it's
thing.
money. But they
It's
do want to bully. They want to be a bully. They want to go forward with it. But I am getting that someone sensible, someone in
But
power.
you got all right side up cards too. Did you do a yes no spread?
No, I didn't do
Okay.
it yesterday. I just
Well,
just threw the cards to get answers. Right.
okay, but
there's going to be
your
some
cards
sort of a
mimic
quid pro
my
quo.
cards, and they came up
Yeah.
as a yes. Okay, that's all I can say.
There's going to be some degree of negotiation, is my answer.
Okay,
They're
well,
gonna
let's hope you're
negotiate
right. Let's hope you're right. Let's hope
out
you're
of the
right.
nuclear
Let's pray
war.
you are correct, my friend. All right, let's
Okay.
pray. All right, Helen, do you want to go or?
Oh,
Daphne?
yes, I can hardly wait. So this battle is not going the way they had anticipated. I get
That's true.
the Six of Swords reversed,
You
the
got the third
Seven of Wands
we
red.
had.
Yeah, okay, so keep that in mind because you're going to recognize some of these cards. Then I get this little side story here. My cards always tell me a little story. I get the Lovers. Who are the Lovers? Well, this guy, I get this for Russia. I get this card for Russia all the time. And look, the Six of Pentacles again.
Wow.
So not done. I got the High Priestess as well.
Something's
That's
going
right.
on.
Then this aggressive action, the Knight of Wands, and ultimately absolutely no concern for the future. The Two of Wands, no foresight, no consideration of the implications of what they're going to do. So wow. I'm sorry, Diane, I'm all of a Eeyore.
Well, no, but I had the same. I mean, I tried to make it purposefully unambiguous by asking the yes no question. And you know, it's extremely rare to get every single card right side up. That is very rarely happens, or every single card upside down. Usually there's some give.
A mix.
This is like almost like it's already decided to me. And somebody's pushing for this. There's some kind of secret deal going on. What does that mean? I don't know. Maybe we should dig into what is the High Priestess all about? Who else got the High Priestess? Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. So we got 5 out of 6 of us got that. Me and Diane got this card and this card, right?
I did too.
And so how many people got this card? Okay, 1, 2, 3 of us. How many of us got this card?
I can't see it.
What is it?
Seven of Wands.
7 of Wands.
Okay, so 3 of us. This is weird. Okay, that is significant that all those same cards showed up. I got a lot of money stuff, which is obvious, but this stuff is interesting, and maybe we could dig into what is this all about, because they came up in most of the readings. The odds of that are, significant. There's
weird,
how many cards are in the deck? Like
78.
78.
Oh, 78.
Okay, 78. Okay, 78. And of all of us, what are the odds that 3 of us would get this card, and 5 out of 6 of us got this card?
But mine was in reverse.
I can't see.
It doesn't matter. You still got it. The same card.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
what are the
High
Priestess?
The High Priestess.
Okay.
Yeah. This is all kinds of bullshit going on behind the scenes. This is Mishigas. This is hidden things. Stuff that's not being shared with the public that we are not aware of. So there's something going on. Maybe we should dig into the High Priestess and see if we can figure out what it is. What do you think?
I think I have to say, for me, that these 2 cards together, the Lovers and the Empress, this is really about Putin. This is about Russia. There's some. You're right. There's underhanded backroom dealing.
There's some kind of backroom dealing situation going on here.
Yeah.
Who is it with? Is it with the Saudis? Is it with Putin? Is it with, maybe it's with all of them, with Netanyahu? But Trump he's enriching himself through this, and he must be. I don't understand. Like, I don't get that. I don't understand how he could be so gleeful about all this, and it's so positive. The cards are also really, really positive.
He's dying anyway, so he doesn't give a damn.
That's
the only thing I can think. He doesn't care. Okay, so Diane, you're the odd man out here, but I like your take the most. I hope you're right. I hope you're wrong.
I wonder sometimes when we're reading on these situations, if you're in his energy, you see things the way he sees them, which is all positive, gleeful, blah, blah, blah.
Yes,
And
that's
then
true.
I try never to get that close. I try to get like 2 steps back so I can see the rings of power around him.
Right.
And mine started out with this beautiful feminine energy, right? Someone who loves her luxurious lifestyle and doesn't want it messed with, right? And then
Oh.
I got the Ace
of
of
Wands.
Wands. So there are people who are coming up with better ideas because they know he's an absolute and utter fool, but there's no good options, right? And then I got the High Priestess in reverse.
Okay, so secret dealings.
Right.
Yeah.
And because his psychology, his psychopathy is so predictable in certain ways, it's possible. Didn't we just restart nuclear tests somewhere in the world? Like, what if they fly him out there and they do a test, and then there's some fake news headlines about how he just ended the war with this forceful strike and demonstrated the power and blah, blah, blah.
I don't think that's what's going on. Well, let me just say one thing too. Before I did this particular, before I did the throw, I asked to get the absolute 100% truth. And I was coming from the perspective of Trump. I was trying to figure out what is in Trump's head, not what might happen, but what is his intention. And so his intention is to use them. That's very clear. He wants to use them, and he plans to use them at some point while he's in power. He wants to use them. Whether he gets to use them, whether if he were to be moved out of power quickly and decisively, we could avoid that. But he definitely is planning to use them from what the cards say. I don't trust it if it's like a half-assed kind of half and half thing, or if there's a lot of things that don't make sense either. And also I made sure, like, I don't care how bad it is to tell me the absolute 100% truth. Yeah. And the fact that every card came up as a yes tells me that is his absolute intention. Whether we have to experience that or not is another issue. And maybe that's what Diane and you are picking up on, the possibility of removing him before he can do that. That's a whole other question. We could ask that question. Do we want to find out if he is removable from power before he gets to do anything that insane?
Can I say something? Oh, go ahead.
Wait. Yeah. One more thing. Other thing that is really worrisome is he has a cadre of Christian nationalists who want Armageddon. And you were going to say that, right, Helen? Or about to, probably.
No, I was going to talk about the High Priestess, but go ahead.
Okay. So that they may push him to use it, I think, too, because for them, this is the ultimate goal, is to annihilate the world. And that is really scary. That combination is super bad. Okay, so go ahead, Helen.
Well, they want to fulfill biblical prophecy. That's the goal. So almost everybody got the High Priestess. And what really struck me about this particular deck of cards, that kind of malevolent grin on her face, it reads malevolent to me. If you might have seen the recording of him in the last day or two, kind of spilling the beans about legislators' bad health, that he was terminal with a bad heart. His goal was to brag about the fact that his doctors were going to save this guy ultimately. But he was sitting at a table. Mike Johnson was next to him, and he pressured Mike Johnson to actually reveal this guy's secret, private medical situation. Trump got the most evil, malevolent grin on his face when Johnson quite reluctantly named the name, named the diagnosis, and Trump just broke into this just insincere smile. It creeped me out. Did anybody else see that?
I didn't see it, no.
That the guy will be dead by June, and he was like, he will die before him. And he lit up,
He did.
Wow.
He lit up.
Chilling.
That is creepy, man. I got to see that. When did this happen? Yesterday?
Compassion.
No, he is
in the last 48 hours. Yeah.
Wow.
It's all over the YouTube.
Did we see Patricia's cards?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she also got the higher. She also got the
that's right.
High Priestess.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
On
I keep going back to like the first words I heard was murder and the unsubscribing word, right? And then but my spread was began with a woman and ended with a woman.
right. I have
So
to say the other thing I've been hearing for the last several weeks, but have not said publicly because it's too creepy, is this: millions will die. That's what
Yes.
I've been hearing
Wow.
over and over in my
I
head
was just
all the
about
time.
in
yeah,
the first part that about what it was, the high priestess, whatever, and the devil came out. It's
Hmm.
about murder. He wanted to do something bad. He
Yes, he
wanted
does.
to trigger happy. And in his first term, at least, he had people, he had military people. And in this one, the first thing that he did is make sure he has nobody to stop him.
That's
Mhm.
So
right.
we have no safeguard
We
in
don't.
this.
Yeah. I mean, my thought last night was I kept hearing that, and I'm like, well, at least it's not billions of people. I mean, millions of people, but maybe, I mean, I feel
Oh,
like
maybe
these
you
guys,
misheard.
I mean, I feel like I mean, I just feel like these guys are set on annihilation. And no matter which way you look, the technocrats, the theocrats, the plutocrats, they want annihilation for the masses
Yeah.
because that's
We are
better
too
for them.
many.
Yeah,
Mhm.
there's too many of us.
You know what I
Yeah,
was thinking of? I think that Six of Pentacles that three of
All
us have
gotten it.
yes.
I think that is the Strait of Hormuz. I think if they
Hmm.
could negotiate something with opening up the Strait of Hormuz, that they would avert any nuclear attack.
I hope so.
So
We could ask about that.
perhaps we can ask about the Strait of Hormuz, because
Okay.
I know on the East Coast, the gas has gone up
Oh, oh
a
yeah.
dollar, if not
It was
more.
eight
I know on the
dollars in
West
Los
Coast,
Angeles
it's a
like
few
a couple
dollars
weeks ago, from what I
a
heard.
gallon
Yeah.
in just
Yeah.
in just a week, 2 weeks.
Yeah. 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 It's going insane. Yeah. Okay.
So
So
what
you
is
want
the
to ask?
question?
Okay. So yeah. I mean, so
Is the
let's
Strait
dig
of
in.
Hormuz
Okay.
on the negotiating table to avert nuclear attack?
Okay.
Opening the Strait of Hormuz.
Oh.
so the yes no spread is just 3 cards.
No, okay, it's 3 cards, 1 card in the center and 3 cards below. Each card counts as 1 point, except for the middle card counts as 2 points. So every right side up card counts as a yes. Every
Okay.
reverse card counts as a no. And the middle card counts as 2 points either direction.
Okay,
So
I want to try that.
yeah.
It's too much math this hour of the day.
That's a lot of math. It's just counting.
Well, that's what I mean. Oh my God, can you hear my bird?
No.
You're not going to believe what she's doing. She has this little act she goes through. She does, and then she goes,
Oh, charge. Oh no, that's
what are
creepy.
we talking about?
Yeah, right. That's a little creepy. She's psychic. She's a psychic
Well,
bird.
she is. Yes, she
That
is.
makes
Yeah.
It's
sense.
weird.
Yeah.
What type of bird is she?
She's what type of bird? Oh my God, what
Is she a
type of bird
macaw?
is she? She's an African gray.
An African gray. Yeah. Is she a
They're
macaw?
really
Are they
smart.
macaws?
No,
Yeah,
macaws are the big
they're not.
color. I used to have a macaw. They're the big
Yeah.
colorful ones. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Wow.
She's
I grew up with
gray.
a
She would
double
be if she
yellowhead
didn't keep
macaw.
pulling her feathers out. Pardon?
Oh,
Oh,
I grew up with a
neurotic.
double yellowhead macaw. Yeah, they're
Oh,
beautiful.
that's so cool. Oh,
Macaws are
that's sweet.
A
so
big white
smart.
head, yellow
Yeah.
head.
Yeah, yeah. They are smart. Yeah,
Beautiful.
I love
Smart,
birds. Birds are
very
great.
Yeah, they live a long time.
Yes, they
Yeah.
do.
You have to make provisions for them if you have one.
it's a
Yes,
commitment.
you do.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
All right. So, who wants to go first on this question? Diane,
I
you're the one who asked it, so why don't you go for it?
Okay, so the first two cards were, so here's Trump. He's getting information or is being whispered by inexperienced individuals.
That's very true.
These are the peak headsets, but for him, it's all about the money. Like, what's
Yes.
in it for me? How can I make
Yeah.
money from all of this? I see them walking away from any nuclear options and temperance, making a
Balance.
deal, negotiating. Ultimately, it's all going to work out fine, but it's all about the money. So yes.
But
so
that's
my
if they
reading is-
can come to an agreement, though, right?
Well, that's
They'll
what
walk away.
The temperance,
You think they will come to an agreement,
they will
is what
come
you're
to an
saying.
agreement, right? Because it's all
I
about
didn't
the
ask that question. Yeah. I asked specifically if the Strait of Hormuz was fixed, would that stave off the nuclear potential? That's what I asked. But
And I
so
think the way
you
I
asked more
asked it,
about if it would actually happen. So yours is a yes,
right,
you think it will happen.
is the
Yeah.
Strait of Hormuz the negotiating chip that
Right.
they're using to
Right.
avert
Yeah.
nuclear attack? And
Right.
I'm getting that, yes, they're going to walk away from any nuclear options because they're going to negotiate to make money, to,
I see.
because
Okay. Right.
it's costing the world a fortune not to have any oil. We have tankers that are sitting there, not able to go anywhere, not able to
Yeah.
deliver
Right. No,
the
that
oil.
makes sense. And that's good news that eventually that will get solved.
But we
Yeah,
have
it
some
sounds like
very
it.
inexperienced whispering into the ears of this president, people that really
Yeah.
Well,
don't know
that's
what they're
Pete
doing.
Hegseth.
Yeah, all of them.
But he's
Yeah.
just one of
Yeah.
many.
Yeah. Okay. Who else wants to go?
I'll go.
Okay,
So
go ahead.
I tried the yes no spread, and in my mind I was saying, if the Strait of Hormuz is opened, will that take nuclear attack off the table? And I got an upright and an upright center card worth 2 points, upright,
Good.
and
That's
then
good.
the four. I'm not sure I did it right, but this card was in reverse.
Right.
But it's only 1 point, right? But I thought was interesting was here are these two immature
Right.
people, and then
Right.
they are confronting the
Right.
wise elder, right? So like this,
Or Netanyahu. Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah.
this
The guy
weighs a
in
lot more
hiding.
heavily than these lightweights.
How many cards did you use? Did
Well,
you use the 6?
I just used 3 and
Oh,
one
that's
in the
not okay.
center.
Oh,
So
that's not the spread though.
oh,
That's not
okay.
the
So I thought you said
It's 3 cards, 1 card, 3 cards. So it's
oh,
actually
I
7
didn't get that
cards.
part. Okay.
No, it's okay. So,
See, I
so
told you,
you say,
Daphne, too much math before lunch.
yeah, it's not a big deal. But so
I need a photo to
it's a basically probably it would go. It would
yeah.
it's
Because there'd be a lot of money and funneled into
right,
Trump's pocket. Yeah.
right. That makes sense. Yeah. All right. Who else wants to go? Patricia. Yeah.
I got the Four of Pentacles. Okay, they want to hold up on whatever they have, but so many problems, and the problems are coming fast. Okay, because everybody's working on the reserve, and there is a finite time for that. Okay, they have to do it. They try to make the people happy, but it's cost them a burden. Okay, people is getting burned, and the Five of Cups. Okay, it's in over here we're getting into the summer, people is going to travel in the south, the people is going to get into the winter, it's going to cost potentially lives, okay, if you don't have enough gas and all the problems that could come. So they're looking for partnerships, they're looking to see how they can make the best deal for themselves. Okay, and I got the Three of Pentacles. This is about themselves, how to make the most for themselves. So they're gonna open. Yes, I got 5 out of 7. So yes, but first we need to know how we're gonna make the most for us. Then,
Right.
okay, the people and the
That
rest.
makes sense. That makes sense. What did you get, Helen? Did you say
I don't
anything?
know. Yeah, I did. I don't know. I'm not entirely sure how to interpret it. I have a gut feeling, but so I got the Seven of Swords. I think there's just so much wheeling and dealing and underhanded
Yeah.
planning going on in the background to continue the fighting. I think they want to keep this up. I think that I don't know, they are who they are. They want to keep it up for various underhanded reasons. But I got the Three of Cups reversed. And this is the one I wasn't sure how to take. Does this refer actually to the oil situation, or does this refer to the pressure of populations of countries who've just had enough? Or do they not care? Do they just not care? I don't know
Right.
what to make
Maybe
of that.
all of it.
Yeah.
Maybe it means all of it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
the nine of wands can also refer to the having to defend themselves against the American public. Remember, we have midterms coming up this year. Gas is
Good
going
luck
up.
with that.
Gas
That's not
is
going to mean
going up,
anything.
and the
Yeah.
public is very dissatisfied.
Yeah,
Well, it's
but
funny
I
you
don't
would
know.
say that.
Defending themselves because he's looking over his shoulder, you know, so
Right.
there's a crowd behind him. That he's
It's funny you would say that though,
scared.
because when I was asking the question, I was thinking more of an international sort of question, right? And I was looking at it while you guys were talking, and I noticed that these soldiers here where the fire is, they're in some sort of Civil War uniforms. So maybe this
Wow.
is talking about the American voter, you know. And you might be right about that. Yeah.
That they need to get a deal done. Yeah, I didn't ask specifically about whether the strait was going to be opened or closed. I just asked if they came to a deal, would that stave off any kind of nuclear weapons for the time being? Okay, like would they take that off the table? And I got, a maybe. So that's the so I got, this or try to work things out, but it wouldn't be easy. The Ace of Wands, which is sort of trying to start something up but having trouble getting it going. The Emperor reversed, the authoritarian patriarchal kind of energy that's sort of entrenched in all this. This is you guys, a lot of you guys got this Page of Wands, which is, the immature,
Yeah.
really this
So-
card is yeah, you got
Did
it
you get
too.
it,
Is
Daphne?
I did.
Yeah, we got the
yeah,
page
Yeah.
ones as well. Yeah.
yeah.
I think
That's
Patricia did too.
impulsive.
Yes, yes.
That's an impulsive person, an
Yeah.
impulsive young person who's just starting out on their journey. Like they don't really know what they're doing, especially in their career, because
Like experience.
they have a lack of experience, right? So that's at the center is a lot of people who don't really know what the fuck they're doing, and that's
Going
kind
off
of
half cocked.
yeah, going off half cocked and not really. And so this is really about like, can they get a deal done? I don't know if they can. It was sort of like, but the question was not that. The question was, would this take this off the table? And I got a maybe, at least for the time being. This is the Pentacles, Five of Pentacles, which is just catastrophic financial problems. This is a depression, This is Temperance reversed, which is everything's all screwed up.
Cuckoo. Yeah.
And this is the Queen of Pentacles, which this is usually a person. I don't know who this woman would be in this situation. I'm not sure like who this is supposed to be, but maybe there's a woman who might try to help negotiate a deal or try to step in to make it happen. But it wasn't, the question really wasn't about the Strait of Hormuz. It was if they could do a deal, would that take the nuclear option off the table? And I got a maybe. So that kind of tells me for the time being, yes, it would take it off the table. That's how I interpret it. I got a lot of anxiety about that. So even though it would still loom in the background, but if they could do that, at least in the short term, it would put that on the back burner. That's what I got. Yeah.
Well, but I
I
think
was
they want that to
read-
loom. They want it to loom because as long as it
the threat.
looms,
Right.
it creates a sense of threat to
Right.
Yes,
the
to everybody.
table.
Absolutely.
To the
Yeah,
world.
definitely.
To the
Yeah,
world.
absolutely.
That we're talking about it. It's anxiety provoking. It is.
It
Very,
is.
very.
Yeah.
I was doing a thing about Edgar Cayce last night, and this was really interesting. He made a prophecy about these times, like specifically mid 2020s. And one of the things in his prophecy was that the future is not written in stone. That too much of what, especially in this time period, this situation is more unpredictable than any other in human history and more important than any other ever in human history. And the reason it's so unpredictable is because you have a lot of irrational players that they don't even know what they're going to do. There's just this intentional amount of chaos, which serves its purpose. I mean, we're all talking about it, right? We're facing existential questions, but yes, we're getting maybes. We're not getting definitive answers because it just isn't clear. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, well, we have so maybe if you think about Trump, I mean, he changes his mind every half second. So
What mind?
that kind of exactly that kind of that kind of irrationality and erraticism, he doesn't even know what he's going to do from one moment to the next. So how can
Exactly.
the world know? And he is the most powerful person on the planet. So yeah, what are you going to say, Daphne? Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, could you want to do one more thing and then call it? Because I know it's getting late for Patricia. She's got to go soon. What about High Priestess? Do you guys, I mean, 5 out of 6 of us got that. Does anybody want to dig into what the High Priestess was all about and see if we can figure that out? Okay, so
Very
what's the High
curious.
Priestess about? Yeah.
So
Okay.
what is the question?
So you want to ask what's the high priestess or what's going on behind the scenes?
Yeah. So
what was that message? Yeah.
What was the message of the High Priestess in context to the nuclear question? Right. How about that?
So, what sort of spread would be good for this? Putting the High Priestess in the middle, or
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Yeah, to do like a normal like Celtic cross spread. Is that
okay?
you? Yeah,
Oh my God.
that's a good idea. All right, I'm gonna find my High Priestess first before I
Yeah.
the cards in.
It's always the last card you come across.
It always is when you're trying to pick. Yeah, something like that.
Oh, there she is. Do you know there's a lab at MIT that collects tarot cards, tarot decks?
No, I do too, though. I should check it out.
A lab? What are they doing with them?
Physics. Well, they're just curious about, I mean, these are people who think about things like random number generators and where is consciousness and what is time.
That makes sense. Great. All right, who wants to go? Anybody finished with their? I hear a little dog barking. Is that your dog, Helen?
Oh, it must. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't even notice it anymore.
No, it's okay. Don't worry about it.
Sorry.
Don't worry about it. Okay. Fucking hell. Okay. You want to go, Helen? You seem like you were finished first while everyone's looking at
Yeah,
their stuff.
I am trying to figure out what it is I'm looking at. So I got the 9 of Cups reversed, the 10 of Cups reversed, the Queen of Cups reversed right off the bat. And I just think it's a statement.
A lot of reverse
situation.
cups.
Yeah, it's a lot of reverse cups. This is we're moving deeper and deeper into a world with a lack of compassion and empathy. We're not functioning on that level right now. And then look at my next card, the High Priestess reversed.
Oh, so you didn't put the High Priestess for, you just randomly did it, right?
I just picked some cards.
Yeah. I love when that
then
happens.
the Hierophant reversed.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a rejection of compassion, a rejection of love, a rejection of empathy, a rejection of resorting to inner wisdom, a rejection of a moral compass at all. But then I got the Knight of Wands. And the Knight of Wands reverse, which I feel like an end, a prevention of some sort of aggression. Because why? The Ace of Cups. Somebody's going to come to their senses. So I feel like what we're seeing that high priestess is maybe inner wisdom, introspection, some sort of connection to ancient understanding and knowledge. We're being reminded of that somewhere. There's a glimmer of that.
I don't know. I've seen the high
I don't
priestess
know
come up
either.
in a
That's
lot
why
of
I sound
negative.
uncertain.
Yeah, I
Well,
think
that smile, you know.
yeah, the high priestess is kind of one of those cards like the moon that comes up a lot in
Deception.
triangulation
Yeah.
and deception. A lot of
Well,
times it comes,
hidden knowledge. Yeah.
yeah, but it can be hidden like spy, like a spy kind of thing, or it can be basically information held back, to be used by one person against another.
Oh
It
my
can be in that.
God.
What?
You just said you said the magic word,
Okay.
spy. Earlier,
Spy.
you talked about a card about a woman who didn't want to lose her position and her comfort and her situation.
Yes.
2
That
plus
wasn't me.
2
It's me.
equals,
Yeah.
I don't want to say it out loud.
Melania.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. 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 I mean, maybe she's the one who tries to talk him out of it. That could be because she has a Baron and her kid and her going forward. Maybe she's somehow connected to that
I
talking,
don't
like
know. It's so
what Daphne was
confusing.
saying. I'll go because I think I know what this is about. Okay, so
Oh, okay.
I pulled this out, and look what's crossing it. It's clearly money. I mean, this is financial. There's financial dealings. At the root of the problem is the Page of Cups, which is,
Immature desires.
and also this is the Pisces card. This is duplicity and back dealing and people
Not
who who wear a mask, who you don't really know what's going on. So this could be any number of characters who are withholding information, or like I said, kind of spying, or triangulating to one thing. And it can also be a con man or something, and this could be at the root of it. An
Untrustworthy
untrustworthy
offers. Yeah.
individual at the root of the high priestess. So there's backroom dealings, misinformation, people manipulating each other, and certainly there is a man at the center of this. At the core of this is someone who's manipulating everyone. Okay, this is, I think, answers the question of who it is, and I
I
thought
can't see
immediately
it.
of
what
Putin.
is that?
This is,
Six of Swords.
yeah, and this card, you got it too. This card is a card of patterns. That's what the Brotherhood of Light teaches about this card. This card is about patterns. This is about repeating a pattern over and over and over again. I know I don't know where that comes from. I can't remember the reasoning for it. When it's reversed, it means recognizing the pattern and moving away from it. But this is a pattern, and this is, I think, because all the swords, all the anxiety is being taken with the people on the boat who are leaving from one place to another place. So they're taking all of their shit with them, and so they're creating the next pattern. You know that old saying, you basically wherever you go, there you are. You know what I mean? When people who move around and try to change things up in the external, but they don't actually change any of their behavior, and things repeat and happen exactly how they happened where they were before. That's what this card is about. So
Like
the
a
pattern of,
geographic cure. Yeah.
yeah, right. This is the pattern of the duplicitous person that we have been dealing with for a long time, right?
Which one?
I think it's probably Putin. I think he's the main guy. I think he must be. I mean, Netanyahu sure is too. I mean, maybe it's Netanyahu, but and maybe this is Netanyahu because there's another duplicitous person at the end, this seems like Putin. This is the Scorpio man, because when you reverse this in the Brotherhood of Light way of doing it, it's a male Scorpio, and Scorpio rules spying and secret service and things like that. So maybe it's Netanyahu, maybe it's Putin,
What?
but anyway, okay, or it's the same guy.
I got the Queen of Cups reversed too.
You did. Okay, again,
Yeah.
that's the spying man, the sort of secret agent type of person. This is the Knight of Cups. Is what is the thought process. Like, this is what's at the crowning the situation. So, in that system, the Knight represents thinking about something. I know it's a weird interpretation, but thinking about compassion, thinking about, feelings would be the interpretation of this. And so this tells us there's somebody manipulating the situation, using the feelings against and triangulating. So that's what this High Priestess card is about. It's about manipulation. It's probably about manipulating Trump, telling him nice, flattering things to get him to do what you want. And then here in the immediate future is the King of Swords reverse, which is usually a feminine character. And actually in this system, it's the Taurus. So this could be Melania, like we're talking about. She's a Taurus woman. So this also implies this is about, this is kind of about Trump, I
We
think.
disavow her. We Taurians, we disavow her. We want no part of her.
Well, this could be why, the secrets he's dealing with all these secret manipulations. And this is somehow this female energy, this woman in the immediate future. Maybe she has some kind of influence that she hasn't exerted yet. But anyway, I'm not sure where that comes in, but we'll figure that out. Then you've got the 10 of Pentacles reversed in the place of disadvantage, which means he never feels like he has enough. This is the card of wealth, and reversed, it's anxiety about wealth, like feeling you never have enough money. You're always, but he does. He has plenty of money, but this is what feeds all of his insanity and greed. So he is the Hierophant. In this case, I think what it's telling, he is not the Hierophant, but he's the High Priestess, I think, in that he is keeping all these secrets of all these people manipulating him. Does that make sense? I think that's maybe what it represents in this case. The star is in the environment, and that's just people's hopes and being pinned on him, their wishes and their expectations. This is in the place of advantage, trying to make a decision that's clear. I don't know that he's going to, and then this is the Putin card, I think, as another influence. So I think what it's telling me is that the High Priestess in this situation is really the triangulation of Trump and all of the different secrets on him, secrets about him, his manipulation by all these different factors. I think that's what it represented in that situation. That's what I think, but I don't know.
It's like that gleeful smile he had that I saw in that card. It's like the Cheshire cat,
Yeah. I think that's what it is. It's all these people manipulating him behind the scenes with money, with flattery, with feeling, and even the secrets on him by Netanyahu and Putin, and all of that is sort of at the centerpiece of whether he's going to explode the world or not. That he's keeping all of these secrets, and the secrets are about him, and he's, I don't know, he's being manipulated and sort of puppeted, and maybe he's afraid of letting his secrets out, but he's also using or kind of triangulating like a typical narcissist does to get the best deal for himself. So he represents all of that underhanded, kind of secretive, withholding kind of, even though he seems like he's truth teller to some people, he's actually, there's a lot, he's a secretive person who has a lot of wily kind of things going on behind the scenes. It looks like, I think that's what it references to me. That's what I got. But what did you, anybody want to add in or put their take on it?
So the High Priestess, there's a lot of male toxicity in my reading. And I got the Page of Swords, the spy. This card is called the spy card, and that they were very successful in spying on this administration. But what I'm also getting is that they have secrets, the High Priestess, on Epstein. They know.
I think that's right.
secrets.
I think that's part of what the
They're
Hierophant
able
is.
to manipulate him and manipulate not just Trump, but people
A
from
bunch
all
of
over the
people.
world. This is a
Yes.
big international ring that Epstein collaborated with and got involved. These were men
that
who
makes
thought
sense.
that there were no consequences. They just jumped into it. But they were being spied on the whole time. They're all recorded. They're videotaped. All their sex acts, all their atrocities, everything is recorded.
Yeah,
And
right,
these
right.
men were not thinking about it. They were in a lap of luxury. When you see photographs of Epstein's island, it is gorgeous from the outside. But yet, when you speak with the architect who was designing, Epstein hired this architect to design portions of or to elaborate on portions of
He quit.
the mansion. He quit. He said, I
After
couldn't
Oh,
take what I was seeing. He goes, there were all
Mhm.
these
wow.
girls. He wanted rooms that were just pink, not for women, but for girls, and put bunk beds in it. And
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
but they were still in this lap of luxury. And it was all meant to control them, to control the world. So there was a plan that was established to spy on these very wealthy individuals in order to control them. And they were
Right, right.
successful.
Well,
Netanyahu
and
was
so
more
that's what the high priestess is about. It's about all of these sort of machinations behind the scenes. And that's what's animating, looks like a lot of this nuclear stuff for some reason. So why that is, I
so
don't
they're
know.
able to
Does anybody?
manipulate Trump to
Well,
do
it came,
to work
sorry,
at their behest when it may not be to the
Yes.
advantage of the US.
Right, right. That's right. Right,
it
that's
came
right.
back to shoot them in the foot because Epstein was a triple spy. This is not me making this up. I mean, they know this for a fact. He was spying for Russia, the Mossad, and the US all at the same time. He was playing one
And
against
that's
the
the
other.
players in this situation. That's the triangulation, the same triangulation.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
maybe this
And
is the thing that is at the core of that high priestess is the Epstein stuff.
but I've got a deeper connection. I feel this in my gut. I've talked about this for a really long time. I think this is really significant. Epstein was put into the mix. He was hired by Bill Barr's father, and they're
Yes.
all big Opus Dei. And I know this sounds crazy conspiracy stuff, but
No.
we're talking about the same power structures that were running the world 2,000 years ago.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's okay. Okay. So, Patricia, do you have anything or Daphne to add in here? Yeah. What did you guys get?
What I got is this is the magician reverse, okay? Weakness, okay? The lack of balance. Everything is about money. Nine of Pentacles, Six of Pentacles, okay? And then you
Mhm.
have the King of Wands reversed. And then you have the Ace of Wands reversed. And there are more ones, all of them reversed, and that with justice. Okay, so this is about a lot of lies, a lot of a lie. There is a liar over here. There is a lack of a person with a lot of talent, but misuse it. A very arrogant, reckless person, right? I have the King of Wands. This is this is either Epstein or the leader, the dear leader,
Right.
right?
Or what, or
Um,
Putin, or all those guys are kind of
yes,
in there.
and
Yeah.
and they are acting out
Yeah.
with all this, but at the end of the day, they're afraid of justice. Okay, this is that is gonna come to them. They're afraid of the people, so
You know what? That's interesting because the pattern card could also be what you're saying, Diane, too, where the pattern of this triangulation and all this spying that's been going on for years is part of this matrix that is, you know, animating all of this conflict, perhaps, What were you, yeah, go ahead, Daphne. What did you get?
Well, I was struck by how many of the same cards and same positions, like the Knight of Cups.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, and when I look at the spread, to me, this feels very like it's speaking to me
Hmm.
because I have in many of my meditations, I'm told over and over that witnessing the crumbling of the toxic patriarchy is sort of the point of this lifetime, right? And so everything I see in the spread is about cycles. It's about moving on and
yep.
Oh,
taking all
yeah.
your crap with
The
you,
pattern
right?
card.
I
Yeah.
love
Same
that.
card.
It's about loss.
Hmm.
But this card and it's also like the greed and corruption in the world. Even though this is
Right.
upright,
Right.
it's been
Still,
perverted and corrupted, right?
yeah.
And then this card I think is meant to say that sometimes things aren't as hard as they appear, and we have a choice. And then the final card I got was the Empress in reverse. So when I say this feels very personal to me, there are idea structures in place that we can reject and not take with us into the future so that we can address this,
The
right?
feminine, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's turn on the
So
feminine.
yeah, so I found it a really fascinating exercise to put the High Priestess in the middle and say and I literally said, "What message do you have for me, High Priestess? What are you trying to tell me?" And the fact that there are karmic cycles involved, the fact that there's I mean, it almost, I don't know if this resonates with you guys, but I feel like the reason why everything is crumbling in 360 degrees and like a spherical destruction of systems and ideas is because so many of us are here to wrap up old patterns. So we got to work on everything at once, which is scary. Hard to pick a lane, you know? Yeah, thank you.
That
That
makes
was really
sense.
interesting to
That was
look at
interesting to
energy.
delve into that. Yeah, that
Yeah.
was interesting.
Thank you,
So
Denise.
yeah. No, I think it's interesting to see too, like depending on how you frame it in your head too, you get the answer to your question, you know what I mean? And it's bringing a different element into it, what the High
Yeah.
Priestess is about. But yeah, that the High Priestess in terms of that nuclear situation, it seems like what's animating some of that is probably stuff we don't know that are in the files, maybe in the Jeffrey Epstein stuff. I mean, half of the Jeffrey Epstein files have not been given to the public. What is in there? Maybe
Well, it's
that's
all
also
about
what the High
global
Priestess
leaders and their perversions. We know that,
is
and
there.
these
Yeah,
people
right.
are sweating it out. Right, right.
Yeah.
Global leaders. Is there anything else that maybe ties in, like something even weirder that we haven't even thought of? Like that's the High Priestess stuff. It seems like there's patterns of abuse and triangulation and greed and all these weird things that are being still withheld from us. But in this situation, we don't really know the whole picture. So
You're
Well,
reminding me
as a
of,
oh, sorry.
I was just going to say, you're reminding me of what Deepak Chopra wrote to Epstein, which is, "I reject nothing that's human." Right?
oh,
Yeah. So he
Oh, great.
felt like a
there you go.
condoning of
Hmm.
extreme behavior.
Wow.
So,
Yeah, that would be how I would read that. Yeah.
Well, he was
That
in the
Talking
he's
about patterns.
he was in the Epstein files. Yeah.
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 Yeah. But he's been, he's very big here in San Diego. He was part of the board of the Consciousness and Healing Initiative. They kicked him out in a very public, decisive manner. UCSD, huge research institute, has cut ties with him. He's anathema in what used to be the heart of his empire.
Well, that's because he got found out.
Yeah.
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 But I mean, I this is one of the things I think people have to really use is their discernment.
Yeah.
Because I never liked Deepak. Personally, I felt he was always creepy and a weirdo. And if you can't kind of discern, you should not just take whole cloth what people who call themselves spiritual say, because that's a wolf in sheep's clothing thing. You see it in the church, you see it across the board, you see it in every space where people are supposed to be spiritual because it's a great cover for bad behavior. People
Yeah.
don't suspect you. If you say the right things and look nice and like you're spiritual, you can do bad things. What were you going to say? Yeah.
This cracks me up because I don't remember when he first hit the airwaves and became, in the public awareness. I know nothing about him because the first time I
Yeah.
heard his name and saw his face, I went, "Ooh."
Yeah, same. Yeah, I didn't want to
Isn't
know
that
anything about him.
funny? Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
yeah, he grossed me out. So, I mean, maybe he has interesting things to say. Maybe he has some, he's synthesized material that makes sense to people. But the discernment piece is so important. Like I know the messenger isn't always like important to the message, but
Right.
I think in this case, that's pretty dark kind of stuff to be
But you can
molesting young
start out
girls.
okay and then you
You
get
can.
popular and wealthy and it corrupts you.
Yeah, that's true. And maybe that's
Yeah.
what happened,
Yeah.
But I think, though, to
With
go down that dark alley, you have to have something wrong with you to do that. Most people don't, even people that are really famous and powerful don't end up molesting children. That's a whole other, or raping children or graping children. You know, they don't end up doing that or participating in
barbecuing
that.
them.
Or barbecuing them, right?
God, are they
That's
talking
not
about
normal.
that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Was
Well,
that
I
part
mean,
of
think about
his
it.
thing? Yeah.
Not Chopra, but
Right.
there's speculation that that's like, you know, am I above the law or not? Can I break every taboo or not?
That's right. That's exactly right.
So
That's what was going on there. And
yeah.
that's what was happening. Well, I
Yeah.
know, Patricia, you got to go. So we are going to wrap this up. And thanks everybody for being here. I'm going to put
That was
everybody's
fun.
information below in the description. So if you go into the more button, click on it. You can get, if you want to get a reading from any of these guys, just contact them. It'll be on my Substack. I will post everybody's contact information. It'll be on the YouTube. So thanks everybody for doing this. You guys are awesome. You kick ass.
It was
Love you
fun.
guys. And thanks everybody for being here. All
Bye.
right.
Thanks, Denise.